This review is going to be broken down into three main parts: the base game, the War of the Chosen DLC, and my most recent campaign, just basically how it went. These are my thoughts on these components of the game, taken from my own playthroughs. To start with, I should probably just state that XCOM 2 is the best XCOM game by far. Some people aren't a fan of the story, but in terms of gameplay, XCOM 2 managed to massively improve XCOM's main gameplay tenet: maximizing your chances of victory every turn. No matter what, XCOM is the kind of game where even if you play it perfectly, the AI is still gonna land a crit from Overwatch 20 tiles away, one hitting your best medic tiered specialist. I mean, come on, XCOM Enemy Unknown was great, but by the end of it, I had a sniper wiping out most units in one shot and the rest of the team cleaning up the remaining aliens who tried to fight back. Even the very last mission where you find a literal elder had him die the turn he appeared. It left me feeling pretty damn empty when I realized the game was over and it was that easy. In comparison, XCOM 2's scaling difficulty, sometimes referred to as the XCOM arms race, is a hell of a lot better, and tests the reactive planning of the player while also leaving enough leeway that losing a man on the battlefield isn't an instant game over, since you just don't have the resources to constantly grind new troops. And obviously there's tons you can do in the battlefield to even the odds against the AI, who will almost always have more troops than you do. More abilities in the first game since the reboot, and starting concealed on most missions, allow you to have a much greater player given advantage compared to the first game, as well as allowing you to plan way further than the previous games allowed. It's obviously not perfect. Playing aggressively and sometimes getting missions with timers way too short to feasibly complete leaves the game feeling like a frustrating mess at times, but overall it's got a lot going for it. I mean, I actually recommend playing with little to no mods apart from cosmetics or quality of life, at least until you've actually beaten the base game. There's a ton to do, and not experiencing it the way the developers intended can definitely mess up the intended pacing of the game, which is super important for a turn-based RTS. It still fucking makes me angry when the Avenger takes 8 fucking years to fly across the globe, however, so I would recommend some of the mods that maybe speed up some of the constantly repeating animations. To be fair, however, if you've played Enemy Unknown, there isn't a super lot to talk about when it comes to the base game. It's a lot more of the same, except it's a lot more polished, it's better designed, and allows for a ton of great moments in the game. Character customization is back, it's way more detailed, so it's wonderful to be able to set up a character and grow attached to them, only to watch the AI do nothing but focus on them for an entire turn. This is the cruel world we live in, sadly. However, moving on to the War of the Chosen expansion, it's way more interesting to talk about. It's easily one of the best DLCs I've played in years, but it would fucking have to be given the fact it costs as much as the actual game did. It is worth it, however, and if you haven't played the game already, I definitely recommend getting it with the DLC. In this DLC, we have the main focus, the Chosen. Each new campaign is going to add 3 super bad guys operating as mini-bosses and missions. They can show up anytime, anywhere, and basically make your life a living fucking hell. Each campaign will also get new abilities and new weaknesses, which you're going to have to exploit if you want a chance of actually completing any mission they appear on. It can be annoying when the mission is actually really fucking tough, but all in all they're super interesting, and the mission questline to kill them permanently is really fun and challenging. They also have specific faction counters, and I'm going to talk about those now. 3 new units for XCOM to exploit: Reapers, aka kill entire enemy squads from 5 tiles away and not be noticed; the Templar, aka sprint across the map, wipe out an enemy target instantly, and then run to high cover with no punishment; and the Skirmisher, that jack of all trades who'll either save your mission or be completely fucking useless. They come with their own factions of the same name, who will give you bonuses on the overworld and in missions if you do enough for them, and will also give you random missions with cool rewards. These guys are probably the best addition here, as they really mix up your playstyle on missions, and have crazy abilities. Pretty sure you can only have one at a time though in comparison to as much as you want to the original 5 classes, but it's fine considering they can become ridiculously powerful. There are ways to get more than one, but you can't recruit more than one at a time. There's also the Lost missions, which are pretty fun but stressful. It's easy to understand, you kill a Lost and you have your actions refunded. This leads to a lot of overconfidence since they don't use cover and such, and you'll find yourself surrounded by these guys a lot more than you want to be. Throw in advent soldiers running about the place, and these missions become an absolutely insane hellhole. It's pretty scary stuff sometimes. Soldiers can now develop bonds. It gives them extra abilities if their bond mates are on the battlefield with them. There's more maps, there's more missions, there's more tactical actions available, and more enemies. It's honestly a great DLC. It had a ton of fun dealing with the new challenges presented, but it is considerably harder than the base game. It's definitely worth getting though. But all of what I said pales in comparison to my most recent campaigns. You see, the other campaigns were fun, but they're a little too easy. I got to the point where I would stomp my opposition and crush them all, despite the better scaling difficulty of XCOM 2. I decided to try Iron Man Expert Mode. And dear God, what a fucking mistake I made. Soldiers consecutively missing 80% shots, enemies at twice the health of my troops only a few months into the game, flanking shots with a 70% chance to hit, most of my troops being one-shot by basic Advent grunts, faster scaling difficulty, everything costing more to produce, aliens gathering intelligence faster, the Chosen appearing with more health, the AI playing considerably more aggressively, taking one tile too far in a movement and triggering the appearance of 4 more enemies hiding around the corner. Having to spend all my intel on making contact with new regions, the Avatar project remaining above 6 out of 12 for a majority of the game. Jesus Christ, it was hell. I never even knew if the Chosen reached max knowledge they could try and take down the Avenger. But that's how my first campaign attempt ended, when an Advent High Priest mind-controlled the soldier, and one turn before dying, the mind control ran out and he simply mind-controlled another soldier that was chasing him. A fucking travesty. The amount of times I Alt F4'd, resetting my turn from the pure rage of how bullshitty the enemy's luck got at times was insane. The game would continuously fuck me over, in every single way possible. It was a hell of a time, and it's truly one of the hardest challenges I've had in the game in a while. Makes me want to cry thinking about it, but it's pretty damn rewarding to do well in ridiculously difficult situations, like the game provides you on that difficulty. However, it is complete and utter bullshit, and my most recent Alt F4 actually deleted my second attempt, so I'm back to square one. It's a bit disappointing that the hardest difficulty is based more around complete bullshit than it is actual skill and adapting to the situation, because the game honestly punishes you for playing smart sometimes, such as reconning the area triggering new enemy squads to appear and aggro on you. But it's more for people who are tired of stomping the base game, so there's that, I suppose. If you're a fan of XCOM, or turn-based RTSs in general, but maybe heard mixed things about XCOM 2, definitely get it. The game is incredible and well worth the money, especially with the sales that goes on a bunch of the time.